Good morning everybody, Sarcastic Barman here. Just happened to re-record a few sections for this video. We were looking at the Divine Plane last night. Thought get most of the recording done, have a couple of beers. Yeah, probably wasn't the best of plan watching some of the footage back. You'll get to see it now, just over here.
Hey everybody, this is Andy with the Divine Plane. Hope you're all doing well.
Good evening Andy. I'd leave you a nice comment, but you've disabled comments on all your videos. I wonder why.
You know, I get a lot of questions asking why I believe the Earth is flat.
Were you dropped on a head as a child? Did you take too many drugs? Have you had too much beer? Then you might be a flat earther.
Well, for one, when I take videos like this, of this particular ferry 38 kilometers away from a viewer height of 77 meters, and the ocean is perfectly dead flat, and I can see down to the bottom of the ferry where it's skimming along the water.
38 kilometers away. Okay. 77 meters high. Okay. So, without diffraction, that's about 3 meters missing. And you're going to say you can distinguish between the 3 meters, the water, and the bottom of the boat. I think I'm starting to understand why comments are disabled.
That leads me to the obvious and logical conclusion.
The obvious and logical conclusion that you're 77 meters high.
That the oceans are flat. Now, if the oceans are flat, then we don't live on a spinning ball.
Again, if it was flat, you wouldn't need to be 77 meters up, would you?
That should be fairly simple for even the most dim-witted globeling to understand. So that's why I believe the Earth to be flat. This and other observations just like it prove that the Earth is flat.
And that's why you're an idiot.
Has NASA or anyone else ever proven that the Earth is a sphere? No. There's no proof of axial rotation.
It's Bob from Globebusters.
There's no proof of Earth's orbit. And there's no proof of physical curvature.
Yes, there's plenty of evidence. There's the International Space Station as the nice easy one to start with. You can photograph that as it passes in front of the moon. The moon, they've been to it. They've put laser reflectors on it. You can shine a laser beam at the moon and get a return back. All you need is the equipment, which will probably cost less than the experiment you're about to mention.
And you've had all the science and all the funding behind you for 500 years to figure it out and prove it. And you still haven't proven it. That's why it's called the heliocentric theory.
Please understand what a scientific theory is. These are basic things that anyone making a video for people to comment on should understand. Or is that one of the reasons why comments are disabled on all your videos?
I wish some of you who are so skeptical of the flat Earth would start being equally skeptical of your own dim-witted heliocentric theory. So let's get into this. NASA, the same people that show you this, Globelinks, and that you swallow and believe without even questioning it.
Oh, I know this. Parapodolia. Paradolia. Parapodolia. The thing where your brain sees shapes and things. Now, you've got a really crap looking picture of Pluto there. I've included in the description the direct picture from Wikipedia. It's 8,000 by 8,000 pixels. It's really big. It's really cool. But when you look at the proper image, your brain doesn't quite make it the same. Yes, you can sort of see, oh yeah, Pluto there thingy. But on the blown up full image, you go, well, it's missing half his eerie bit. The nose doesn't come out that far. Brain sees shapes. Shit image, you're going to see the shape more.
Pluto's face on Pluto, clearly. This is the official Wikipedia image for Pluto. This is the official NASA CGI image for Pluto.
Then why is it so small?
You believe this, you don't question it, yet you question what you're seeing with your eyes, which is a perfectly flat Earth all the time. You deny the existence of your own reality of living on a flat Earth, but you're happy to go on believing in Pluto. If you can't see the irony there, I don't know what to tell you. So they show you Pluto's face on Pluto, and then they show you this CGI, where they can't even make up their own mind. They can't even get the proportions of the continents correct.
This one's been covered more times than your mum. Simon Dan covered it not long ago. Perspective zooming in from the camera, even at the same distance. Zoom in, come back. The continents will look bigger, depending on how you're looking at them. This is like first week flat Earth stuff you should learn, not to mention.
But since you're so fluoridated and chloridated and vaccinated and God knows what else,
And masturbated.
drunk, high, who knows,
I'm drinking. I'm not drunk. I'm actually pouring a beer right now.
you actually believe this shit, which I'll never ever understand. It makes no sense to me.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real.
But let's give NASA, in all fairness, the chance to fix this situation once and for all. Put an end to the lunacy of the flat Earth. All these dumb flat earthers, just put an end to all their BS right now with this one simple test.
Is it 2 + 2? That'd be a good test for most of you.
Why can't NASA do this? They have a budget of $50 million each day. So let's take 20 or 30 grand out of that budget. I'm sure they can find room in that budget for this simple test I'm about to explain. Now,
Even if they did anything, would you believe them? Probably not.
for all you globelings out there, you gotta wonder why NASA doesn't just do a simple test like this when they could put an end to the flat Earth tomorrow if it was nonsense.
Do I need to make a comment there, really?
I mean, they can, after all, send rockets into space and somehow send human beings through the deadly Van Allen belts. So if they can figure that out, apparently.
I'm sure these things are covered in Flat Earth 101. The Van Allen belts are not as dangerous as you seem to think they are. Yes, they pose a risk for long-term exposure, but so does sitting in the sun.
So if they can figure that out, apparently, then they should be able to do this simple test.
It's a stupid fucking test.
So here we are at the John F. Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. And you can see I've marked out a position on the map. Points A to B. There's a bridge here and a bridge here.
So, I'm going to guess what my experiment would be. 2 bridges 14 kilometres apart from each other. I'd say let's shine a £20,000 laser from one bridge to the other and find that it shines over the top of the other bridge or doesn't get seen at all. One of the two.
And the beautiful thing about this bridge is that not only is it at NASA, both of them are at NASA, but they run over this very calm, still, peaceful body of water, an estuary.
I shouldn't drink so much. This is my 3rd attempt. Ooh! A bridge that crosses over water. Isn't that a novel concept?
Right here. And it's about 14 kilometers long, which we'll show here in a moment. Okay? So, why doesn't NASA simply take a rope or a chain from this bridge to this bridge and prove curvature? Prove that in the middle here, there's a big hump that the rope or the chain is going to have to get dragged through in order to get to the other side, to the other bridge.
For argument's sake, let's say they did this experiment. Would you then believe it? Because I don't think you would. You would say, oh no, it's the chain hanging from the middle because of the weight of 14 kilometres worth of steel chain.
I'm going to go into a little bit more detail here. This should really be very simple for NASA to do. They could probably pull it off in about an afternoon or two.
In an afternoon or two. What you're basically proposing is the start of a suspension bridge over 14 kilometres. If you can't understand why this is one of the most stupid things that will ever come out of a human's mouth, I am very worried for you.
20, 30 grand, game, set, match, no more flat earth nonsense, and it puts a rest to all of this right now.
So you want 14 kilometres worth of rope, steel, chain, something, suspended between 2 posts over water. You only want to spend $30,000 and you think it's going to all work fine, one way or the other. Do you know how much 14 kilometers worth of steel cable weighs? Just about 10 tons. And you expect the weight in the middle or the weight on the posts isn't going to give you some problems, and you want pulleys to tighten these things up.
Now, what's interesting about this is that the distance between these 2 points is 13.8 kilometers, so just under 14 kilometers. But notice how even Google Earth has it listed as perfectly dead flat from point A to point B over the water.
Google Earth lists water as flat. Yes, because Google Earth is going to list them as sea level. You've already said this isn't a river, it's an estuary. You can't use Google Earth to prove flatness.
I find that interesting. Even Google Earth, in some instances, agrees with us that the Earth is flat and that water, in fact, does not bend because it cannot bend, because water is flat, because we use water in our levels to make sure things are level and flat.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh! Sorry, I fell off my stool from pure stupidity. We use spirit levels? Yes. And when you look at the water of a spirit level, what shape does it take? Because that'll be a little curve. That hurt.
But hey, apparently all the oceans are bending, the lakes are bending, this estuary is bending, so this is where we should do the test. Really simple. Not a lot to it, actually. So let's go ahead and look at Street View A. You can see off in the distance here, that's looking from the first bridge at point A, off in the distance, 14 kilometers.
Could you not get a street view off the actual bridge? Because last time I looked, the bridge part of a bridge doesn't contain grass and trees.
To point B here, looking back the other way, I believe this is south, to point A.
You believe it's south? Surely you should know.
We're looking from point B. So this is 14 kilometers roughly over this estuary on the NASA property. All they have to do is take an afternoon or two, set up this test, stick a couple of really strong poles.
Your plan is ludicrously, complexly, stupidly. We're going to skip a little bit because he's got a little nugget at the end that you've got to laugh at.
So, Globelings, why don't you think about this for a moment? Flat Earth is huge. It's getting bigger every day because of all the so-called idiot flat earthers out proving that the Earth is flat. And yet NASA, with all their resources and their huge budget, all they can give you is garbage CGI like this and this.
Have you proved it's CGI? Because I don't think you have.
But they can't do a simple experiment, as I've just outlined, to prove once and for all the shape of the Earth as being a sphere. You guys gotta wake up. You really do. I hope you do. For the sake of your kids, for the sake of all of our children and the future of this planet.
Did you pick up on that? For the sake of our kids and the future of this planet. Yep, planet. The thing described as something that orbits the sun. The last time I thought someone was this stupid is when the Flat Earth Wikipedia page said we have members all around the globe. Jesus. Fucking hell, NASA, you don't pay me enough for this crap. Oh shit. Ooh.